Hello, Rob here from the Flanagan Homestead. Today I'm going to be pre-soaking or pre-germinating grass seed. What's going to happen here is I'm going to soak this seed, and it's probably going to be soaking here for about 5 days. Then I'm going to go plant it outside, and I'm hoping to have grass shoots come up within a day from the time I plant it outside. Or with both grass seed and vegetable seeds, and as a matter of fact in my horticulture class we've done tests where we pre-soaked vegetable seeds and then just planted seeds in the ground, and then after we've soaked the seeds, planting them, and they would come up at about the same time that the seeds that were just planted in the soil came up. So you don't really gain a lot of time overall, but you do speed up the time from the time it's planted in the soil to where it germinates and comes up. And that's what we're trying to gain here on this grass seed. So the reason I'm doing this is two reasons. One, you're not supposed to plant grass seed on really hot days. We're getting in the middle of summer, but I need to get some grass seed planted. And the next 5 days is going to be one of the hottest days, or the hottest days that we've had this year. So instead of putting grass seed out and trying to keep it moist in this heat, I have the seed in the bucket. Okay, then the next advantage that I'm going to have, and more importantly in my scenario, is I'm planting on a slope. I'm building a hobbit house and I'm planting grass over the top of the hobbit house, and it's sloped down. If I was to plant grass seed on top of that and keep watering it and wait 7 days or whatever it is till the grass starts going, the seed's going to get displaced, and a lot of soil is going to get displaced as I'm watering the hillside. By soaking the seeds, and I'm going to plant them when they're just starting to, the roots are just starting to come out. I'm going to put it out there, and hopefully in the first day the roots will start going into the soil, and if I gently water for the next few days, the roots are going to start getting in there, and the seed's not going to get washed away, and the soil's not going to get washed away. So there's the definite advantage here in my scenario is planting on this on the slope. There's going to be less likelihood of erosion. So pre-soaking process itself is pretty simple. You buy some paint strainers. I have a bag right here. This one's already out. The paint strainers are made to fit on the top of a bucket. Here's a dry bucket right here. So I'm doing that just so I can pour some of my seed into that bucket, about the amount I'm going to need. I'm going to save some of this grass seed to fill in around the places the dunk doesn't get done the first time, just to fill in. But I have it all in the paint strainer. I'm going to go ahead and tie a knot in this. And then I have a bucket here that's already full of water, and I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. It's going to want to float for a while. As it gets wetter, it will want to sink. I have brought a rock here that's going to help keep it down in there. Air bubbles are coming out now. It'll want to go. So I'm going to leave the seed in this bucket for 24 hours. That'll be plenty of time for the moisture to penetrate the shell. The inside of the seed is going to be nice and wet, and it's going to start the germinating process if it's warm enough. After 24 hours, I'm going to take it out and let it start drying out, and every day, once a day, I'm going to dunk it in water for about 3 minutes to get the seed wet again, and then I'll pull it out. And in about 5 days, I'm going to start seeing little tiny roots start to come out. I don't want the grass to actually start growing. It will if I leave it in the bag like there, but I want to see just roots starting to poke out. When the roots are starting to poke out, I'm going to throw it on the hobbit house, water it there, and hopefully within a day or two I will see green blades of grass coming up. As soon as I finished soaking the seed in the bucket, I brought some of the rest of the seed down here to the hobbit house. I immediately came down here. I'm going to plant this in the soil, keep it moist every day, and compare how fast it grows and how well it holds compared to the seed that I'm soaking in the bucket, my pre-germinated grass seed. Okay, end of first 24-hour period. Simply take out the bags. And let them sit there on the ground. Water's going to drain out. All right, folks, it's Wednesday morning. I started soaking my seed on Saturday, so it's been 4 days. I was going to go off to work on my tree farm, and then I thought, man, it's been pretty warm and it's been moist. I should check on the seed. And if I open up the seed, I don't know if you'll be able to see it on the camera. Let's look at this. So If I pull this open and you look closely at it, there's little white fibers coming off the ends of many of these, if not most of them. And so if I was to leave this today, these would be long roots and it'd be trying to create a mat. So I'm not going to the tree farm right now. I'm going to be planting this on the Hobbit house. I'm going to go start planting the seed. I'm going to throw it by hand. I can't put this into a spreader right now, partly because of the roots and partly because the moisture is going to hold it together. There is mediums, drier mediums that you could put in there if you wanted to make it so you could put it in a spreader, but I'm just going to sprinkle this by hand. It's a small area, so it won't be too difficult. I will be setting a timer so I make sure it gets watered every day, multiple times a day, to keep moist and keep growing. So let's put some water on it and see how fast things grow. We're going to check our results on how my experiment worked, and I'm going to show you some failures here and some successes, but some lessons to be learned about growing grass seed. If you look at this side of the hill right here, this side is normally wide open to the sun in the afternoon, and it gets quite hot baking on there. And the grass seed that I put on here that was pre-germinated for the most part died because I did not have the timer working effectively and it had no water. So pre-germinated seed with the roots barely sticking out is at its most sensitive stage, and it cannot handle a whole lot, and you need to be able to make sure that you can keep it moist and keep water on it. I had tried to set a timer for 4 times during the day for short periods of watering to keep it moist, but it didn't work. And you can look up here and you can see there's all kinds of seed still here, all that white specks. These are seeds that just died because they got cooked out. Now the encouraging part of it, that it's showing just a little bit of difference. If you get over on this side of the Hobbit house, you can see there's trees over here that shaded it from the morning sun, this maple from the noontime sun, and then on this back side over here, you can see that the hillside itself was protecting it, and you can see there's a significant amount of grass growing here. So again, this is the hillside that's exposed to the sun and died out when it wasn't watering. Here's the patch that I did as a test strip that I threw some seed, not pre-germinated, and it's not as tall as the pre-germinated, but it actually made it because it started growing after I got the watering system working. And then if we walk around the Hobbit house to the other side, here you're going to see a nice little blanket of green grass growing up the hillside. This is why I wanted to pre-germinate, to kind of help hold the hillside. You can see where it's dug in the roots and holding here, and dirt is sloughing down and the grass is holding. Hopefully it will continue to hold and keep the hillside intact. So in short, if you have a specific need for pre-germinating the seed, in my case, trying to keep the hillside intact, go ahead and give it a try. It can be done, and it can be done effectively. But unless you have that specific need, it's probably best to just germinate the seed on the ground, plant it on the ground, keep it wet and watered. If you pre-germinate it, you're going to have to be really careful with it. Make sure you keep it wet. Thanks for joining me on the Flanagan Homestead, where Christmas trees are my business, teaching and cleaning horticulture is my job, and outdoor projects are my passion. Hope to see you again soon. Be blessed, everyone.